Welcome, dear seekers of wisdom. Today we explore a profound truth that can transform our understanding of existence: the universal law of the connection of all things. This law suggests that everything in the universe is interconnected, from the smallest particle to the vastest galaxy, and understanding this connection can radically alter our perception of reality and our place within it. Let's begin by examining the foundation of this universal law. At its core, the law implies that no element of the universe exists in isolation. Every thought, action, and event is part of a vast, intricate web of interactions. This concept isn't just philosophical, it's supported by various scientific disciplines, including physics, ecology, and even psychology. Consider for a moment the idea of cause and effect. This principle shows us that every action has a consequence, and these consequences are not limited to the immediate environment but ripple across the cosmos. The fluttering of a butterfly's wings might contribute to altering weather patterns thousands of miles away. Similarly, the emotions and thoughts we hold contribute to creating our reality and can influence the collective consciousness of humanity. Now let's dive deeper into how this law operates within our personal lives. Every choice we make, every belief we hold, shapes not only our own experiences but also impacts those around us and, by extension, the world. The energy of our thoughts and actions sends out vibrations that interact with the energies of others, influencing outcomes far beyond our immediate perception. This interconnectedness also means that the boundaries we perceive between ourselves and the world around us are more porous than we might think. Our sense of individuality, while useful for practical purposes, can sometimes mislead us into feeling isolated or disconnected. However, by embracing the truth of our interconnected nature, we can start to experience a sense of unity and compassion that transcends these perceived boundaries. Now, imagine how realizing this connection might change your approach to life. If you knew that your thoughts and actions were integral to the fabric of the universe, how might you choose to think or behave differently? This isn't just about responsibility, it's about empowerment. Recognizing our role in the cosmic tapestry enables us to act more consciously and purposefully. Moving to a practical perspective, embracing this universal law can enhance our relationships. When we see others not as separate entities but as part of ourselves, empathy and understanding naturally arise. Conflicts become less about winning and more about harmonizing. Cooperation flourishes when we recognize that the well-being of others directly affects our own. Furthermore, this law has profound implications for personal growth. By acknowledging that our inner state influences the outer world, we become more mindful of our mental and emotional hygiene. Cultivating positive thoughts and emotions not only benefits us, but also sends ripples of positivity throughout the universe. Let's reflect on a significant question. How might our society transform if each of us lived fully aware of the impact of our thoughts and actions on the global tapestry? This question invites us to consider the power of collective consciousness and the potential for societal transformation when we align our individual purposes with the greater good. As we conclude this first part of our exploration, I invite you to let these ideas simmer in your consciousness. Reflect on the interconnectedness of all things and how this understanding might shift your perspective on your interactions and the choices you make every day. Transcending illusions, embracing the true unity of existence. As we further unpack the universal law of the connection of all things, it becomes imperative to address one of the most significant barriers to fully embracing this law: the illusion of separateness. Many spiritual traditions and modern psychological theories suggest that much of human suffering stems from a perceived disconnection from others and from the universe itself. This sense of separation fosters feelings of loneliness, fear, and competition. However, when we start to peel back the layers of this illusion, we begin to see that these feelings of separateness are based on a misinterpretation of our true nature. Quantum physics, for instance, tells us that at a fundamental level, particles are not as solid and separate as they appear. They exist more as a set of probabilities and relationships. If the physical world at its most microscopic level is so interconnected, could not the same be said for us at a macroscopic level? Reflect on how the realization that we are all fundamentally connected might change the way you interact with the world. This shift in perspective can lead us to act with more compassion and empathy, knowing that the well-being of others directly affects our own well-being. This understanding also invites us to reconsider our approach to nature and the environment. Recognizing that the health of our planet is directly linked to our own health can inspire more sustainable living practices. When we see the Earth as an extension of ourselves, harming it is inconceivable because it is, effectively, self-harm. Moreover, embracing our interconnectedness can profoundly impact our approach to health and wellness. Modern medicine often treats symptoms in isolation, but a holistic approach acknowledges that emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual health are deeply interconnected. Healing then becomes a more integrated practice, focusing not just on treating symptoms but on fostering overall well-being. Now, let's consider how this perspective can enhance our understanding of social dynamics. In a society where everyone recognizes their interconnectedness, social structures could shift dramatically. Systems based on hierarchy and competition might give way to those founded on cooperation and mutual support. The realization that our actions contribute to a collective outcome could foster more equitable and just societies. Let's pose a deep question. What if the major challenges we face in the world today are actually invitations to deepen our understanding of interconnectedness? Issues like inequality, environmental degradation, and conflict might be seen not just as problems to solve, but as opportunities to practice living out the truth of our interconnectedness. As we wrap up this part of our discussion, reflect on ways you can start to dissolve the illusion of separateness in your daily life. Perhaps it begins with simple acts of kindness, a deeper appreciation of nature, or a commitment to mindful living. Harmonizing frequencies, cultivating collective consciousness for global transformation. When we truly understand and integrate the universal law of the connection of all things into our lives, we begin to see ourselves as part of a larger whole. This realization doesn't just change us individually. It has the potential to shift the collective consciousness of our communities and ultimately the world. Consider for a moment the concept of collective consciousness, which refers to the set of shared beliefs, ideas, and moral attitudes which operate as a unifying force within society. Now, imagine this collective consciousness vibrating at a frequency of interconnectedness, empathy, and mutual respect. What would such a society look like? How would it function differently from the one we know today? One of the most powerful ways we can influence collective consciousness is through the spread of ideas and emotions. Emotions, both positive and negative, are incredibly contagious. When we choose to engage with the world from a place of compassion and understanding, we not only uplift our own spirits but also influence those around us, creating a ripple effect that can eventually influence the broader social fabric. Moreover, in a world that acknowledges the interconnectedness of all its members, the approach to governance and societal organization would inherently shift from competition to collaboration. Policies and systems would be designed with the well-being of all in mind, rather than catering to individual or select group interests. This could lead to more sustainable environmental policies, fairer economic systems, and a more empathetic justice system. In practical terms, embracing this interconnected consciousness means reevaluating how we educate our young. Education systems would not only impart knowledge but also focus on cultivating wisdom, the ability to see the interconnected effects of our actions and to make choices that harmonize with the well-being of all. Additionally, this shift in collective consciousness would transform our approach to technology and innovation. Instead of advancing technology solely for economic gain or convenience, innovations would be evaluated based on their ability to enhance collective well-being and promote sustainable interaction with our environment. Now, let's ask ourselves a profound question. How might our personal and collective lives change if we were to fully live as though every one of our actions reverberates throughout the entire web of life? This question invites us to live with a heightened sense of awareness and intention, knowing that our every thought and action contributes to the collective frequency of our community. As we conclude this part of our exploration, reflect on how you can contribute to this harmonizing frequency in your own life. It could be as simple as choosing to respond rather than react in stressful situations, practicing active listening in your interactions, or sharing your understanding of interconnectedness with others. The symphony of existence. Realizing personal fulfillment through universal connection. As we have journeyed through understanding the interconnectedness of all existence, we now turn our focus inward to see how this profound truth can be applied to achieve personal peace and fulfillment. Living in harmony with the universal connection means aligning our inner worlds with the outer reality, recognizing that they are not separate but are deeply intertwined. First, consider the peace that comes from understanding that we are not isolated beings struggling alone but are part of a greater whole. This recognition can alleviate the heavy burden of existential loneliness and replace it with a comforting sense of belonging to the vast network of existence. When we feel connected to the world around us, our personal challenges and sorrows are viewed in a broader perspective, allowing us to navigate them with greater calm and assurance. Moreover, embracing our interconnectedness with the universe naturally cultivates a sense of empathy and compassion. When we truly understand that others' happiness and suffering are linked to our own, we naturally seek to promote joy and alleviate suffering not just for ourselves, but for all beings. This shift from a self-centered viewpoint to a more inclusive perspective is not only morally uplifting but also deeply fulfilling. In practical terms, living in tune with the universal law of the connection of all things encourages us to engage in practices that enhance our connection with ourselves and the world. This might include meditation, which helps us quiet the mind and experience the underlying unity of existence, or spending time in nature, which can remind us of our place within the Earth's intricate web of life. Additionally, this understanding influences our relationships. When we perceive the interconnectedness with those around us, our relationships deepen. We become more patient, understanding, and less likely to engage in conflict over minor issues. This not only enhances our personal relationships but also contributes to a more harmonious community. Now, let us ponder a transformative question. What shifts might occur in your life if you saw every interaction and every moment as an opportunity to express the interconnectedness of all life? This question invites us to live each day with intention, knowing that our smallest actions contribute to the universal symphony of existence. As we conclude this series, reflect on how the understanding of the universal law of the connection of all things can serve as a guide for living a life that is not only personally fulfilling, but also enriching to the world. This law does not ask us to renounce our personal desires, but to see them in the context of a larger, more inclusive canvas. Embracing this law leads us towards living a life that is in harmony with the greater rhythms of existence, a life where personal peace and collective well-being are intertwined. Each step we take in awareness of our connection to all things is a step towards a more fulfilled and harmonious existence. Thank you for joining me in this deep exploration. May the insights gained here continue to resonate within you, guiding your path towards greater understanding, compassion, and connection. As we part ways, carry forward the melody of this universal symphony in your heart, contributing your unique notes to the beautiful harmony of existence.